Hey guys, what's going on? It's Non-Weaponized Preparedness back with you. What's going on, guys? When I think of emergency preparedness, prepping in general, when I think of that, I don't think of bunkers, bullets, blast doors. I think of more the non-weaponized portion of it, which is why I make videos for all of you guys. Now, that being said, let's click over to the BBC, where I get my news from, and let's get into some of the highlights today. Texas synagogue hostage taker was known to MI5. Are you kidding me? Let's see about that. Malik Faisal Akram from Blackburn in Lancashire was the subject of an investigation in late 2020. By the time he flew to the U.S., he was assessed to be no longer a risk. The four people held hostage at the synagogue in Colleyville near Dallas, Texas, were eventually freed unharmed after a 10-hour weaponized siege. Akram, 44, was shot dead by police. He had been on the British Security Service's watch list as a subject of interest and was investigated in the second half of that year. But by 2021, Akram, who had a criminal record in the UK, had moved from the active list to the former subject of interest list and was no longer considered a threat. They dropped the ball on that one. Two teenagers remain in custody after being arrested in England as part of the investigation into what U.S. President Joe Biden described as, quote, an act of terror, but their ages and genders have not been released. The siege began around 11 o'clock local time, or 1600 GMT on Saturday, when police were called to the Congregation Beth Israel Synagogue. Akram gained initial access during the service by claiming to be a homeless man, according to police sources quoted by U.S. news agency CBS. One hostage was released after 6 hours, while the other three, including the synagogue's rabbi, escaped several hours later. Rabbi Charlie Citron White told BBC partner CBS how he and two others were able to get out without a shot being fired after he threw a chair at the hostage taker, probably knocking the weapon out of his hand. He said that the group had been praying when he heard a click that turned out to be the hostage taker's gun, beginning an ordeal that he described as terrifying. Both Greater Manchester Police and the Metropolitan Police said they are in contact with U.S. authorities, and counterterrorism policing Northwest is leading the investigation in the United Kingdom. Akram is thought to have arrived in the U.S. via New York's JFK International Airport 2 weeks ago, according to police sources, and he is believed to have bought weapons used in the incident, quote, on the street after his arrival. During the standoff, Akram was heard demanding the release of Afa Siddiqui, a Pakistani neuroscientist who served an 86-year prison sentence in nearby Fort Worth, Texas, over attempts to kill U.S. soldiers in Afghanistan. A neuroscientist attempting to kill U.S. soldiers in Afghanistan? That just doesn't make sense. Siddiqui has distanced herself from his actions, issuing a statement through her lawyer. On Monday, UK Home Secretary Priti Patel said she offered the full support of the UK police and security services to her US counterpart. Foreign Secretary Liz Truss has described the incident as an act of terrorism and anti-Semitism, a view echoed by the Muslim Council of Britain, which called it a hate crime and expressed its solidarity with the Jewish community. Akram's brother Gullibar confirmed his death in a now deleted statement carried on the Blackburn Muslim community's Facebook page. He apologized to the victims and said his brother had been suffering from mental health issues. Friends of Akram in Blackburn said his mental health had been getting worse and expressed he had been able to travel to the U.S. without being put on a flight risk. That's a little bit concerning here, guys. That is more than a little bit concerning. To think that we have the knowledge to create a no-fly list and not have the wherewithal to put somebody that should really be on that no-fly list on the no-fly list, that's a failing of both governments. So I'm going to end the live video here. Please don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, and click the notification bell so you never miss an upload from me. Non-Weaponized Preparedness signing off. Understand, Commander, that torpedo did not self-destruct. You heard it hit the hull, and I was never here. Contact Dallas, give him the go.